All right. Welcome back to another live podcast here with Red Quill Media. We are at the Last Chance Stampede and Fair. The set that you see behind us, this beautiful set, was provided by New Vision Thrift Store. So a huge thank you to them. And this is day 2 of the fair, so we are thrilled to have more guests on the podcast. Today, I'm here with my good friend Chiko. Chiko, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, shout out to Emily. Great set, really appreciate it. Yes, we're at the fair, and I am. Oh, I think I need to get a little bit closer. Sorry about that. And so we are just inviting you guys to come out here. It's a great time to be able to meet all the candidates, to talk about things that are on your heart. Hopefully we can answer and have a good conversation that we both could understand each other and come to some good quality conversation. Then that's what we're about.
Yeah. Well, we're going to real quick kick off the day with a real brief candidate interview. So, Chiko, would you want to share a little bit about what made you decide to run for office?
Well, I am somewhat newly retired, whatever that means. For many of you that I have spoken with before, had the Dairy Queen. My husband and I ran that for 28 years, have been involved in the community, whether coaching, teaching, being part of civic organizations, being part of the chamber, and kind of in a sweet spot right now because I know that families are so busy raising families and people are having to work multiple jobs. To be able to have a little break in time where we can use our efforts to stand in a gap for you for what you guys need. And to be listening and to be able to still have a pulse, a hand on the pulse of what's going on, and to just be there for you. So it's an act of service, an act of love, an act of commitment for you. Whether you have time or interest or not, to still have people standing in the gap, for you to take your concerns to the legislature.
Yeah. And I imagine that you've been out there talking with voters just as much as I have. Mm-hmm. So during that time, what are some of the things that you've been hearing from voters that they're really passionate about and would like to see changing?
Well, one of the things is that has concerned both of us, I think, is decisions that are made have longer term effects than just rather an election cycle. And so being an older, you've got the youngest candidate and one of the older girls. But when you are on a fixed income or if you are getting Social Security, which I am not drawing at this yet, but old enough to do that, you still are having expenses outside of your control to grow. And then you have to realize or decide, what do I have to change for that? Or what do I have to do to be able to make up that money? And so decisions made on our behalf of citizens, they need to be wise.
Yeah.
And there's no lie. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm extremely thrifty. We'll put it that way instead of cheap. And so for me, it's very important to watch spending. You have to do that in business. You have to do that in your personal homes. And so I am one that takes that very seriously.
Yeah, that's good. I was actually just talking to a lady, and one of the things that I always like to look at is I believe the way that candidates spend during an election will tell you a lot about the way that they will spend your tax dollars when they're in the legislature. So,
or even, personally, and I'm not judging people that have higher things, but or spending, that's a personal preference, but it's where's the funds coming from.
Yes.
It would be one thing if you decide you're going to buy yourself something sweet, or if I'm going to buy you something sweet.
Right.
There's a big difference. I just met with a couple out here, and they were visiting Montana, and so it was kind of fun to hear about their perspectives of where they come from, a blue or red state. And he asked, well, why would you do such a thing like that? When you could be doing so many other things. And something that's near and dear to my heart, some of the people that I have met before clearly can see that I am not born. I mean, my father came as a legal immigrant, was naturalized in 1964 from Fiji, and my mom was from Hawaii, still the state. But you see different cultures that have different challenges, and those are important things. So if you live like in some of these cultures, not necessarily Hawaii, and as a traveler, things don't work. And so why we are trying to integrate them into the American way that has worked is not a wise decision. So hopefully some of the background will also give me a different approach, because I've seen it. I've seen cousins and have asked them, why do you love America so much? Why are you so patriotic? And they know if they were still in the areas that they lived before, that they wouldn't have that opportunity.
Right.
And so it's sad and disheartening to see when we have some segments of population being ungrateful for what they don't know is such a beautiful, good thing.
Well, it's a blessing. Really.
It is. It is such a blessing. And there are some places that no matter how hard they try, they can't achieve. And, you know, people don't struggle and risk life and limb for other places that have bad policies. And so we've got to remember how beautiful our nation is, warts and all, just like our families. You know, we all have that aunt or uncle that may, you know, and I could be that aunt, you know, who knows, but that there is beauty if we look at that. And gratitude is also something very important to me, because when you don't have gratitude, your perspective gets dampened. It gets changed. It gets stifled. And hopefully, I'm so proud and thankful to be along the candidates that we are, because I've gotten to know people more, and nobody in this particular group has the heart of, look at me. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing, because when you're running for office, you have to draw attention to yourself. And that for me has been a big struggle.
Yeah.
To say, look at me,
it's
look at me.
definitely difficult to walk the line of needing to have publicity, but also approaching it with a servant's heart.
Yeah. And so it's fun for me to see that the free thinkers in the group, the different age, you know, I mean, from being the youngest to one of the older ones, to
you're not one of the older ones, Chiko.
That's what they were saying. So, but also, you know, I mean, business owners, bails bondmen, people that have ranching history. It's so important to be able to have that male, female, to have the free thinkers, but to still know, to have gratitude, to love this country, to love the people that we are choosing to serve, right? We have that right to choose that. And, you know, I had posted this picture on the 4th of our forefathers. And one of the funny things about AI, you could put yourself. So I plopped myself in there, and I was like, never would you even find such a thing, you know, a woman, you know, me to be able to, but we're experiencing that in the 250th anniversary of our nation, and how that is in itself a blessing and such a beautiful thing, because most cultures can fail with their changing, or whoever gets in office that session or whatever, how things can change, and that we still have the freedom to hold the line for that which is good, honest, true, lovely, helpful. And we cannot forget that the entire world is blessed by the generosity of Americans, the generosity of the people here. And I just love that, you know, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And even though I knew all the 250 things, I didn't plop myself in there, you know, and to such a remarkable time of life that we get to live in. And so I'm really thankful for the opportunity, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. One thing real quick that I've seen when I'm talking to voters is I run into a lot of people who don't want to vote because they don't see the beauty and a lot of the blessings we have as Americans, and they are easily discouraged by some of the, I would say, the yuck of politics right now. So what would you kind of say to one of those voters who maybe doesn't think that their vote matters, or doesn't think that change could happen or just doesn't see the beauty in the nation that we have right now, what would your advice to that be?
You know, I just met a representative, and he said something that resonated with me, and it's so funny. I kind of say weird sayings, but when he said that, it was so funny because he says, if you don't have a seat at the table, you might be the meal, and and you will get the results if you do not choose to vote. You get what you deserve, and you don't really get to complain about it, right?
Yeah.
But if you do vote and you do put your time, and you might still not get, we're not all winners in the same, what it used to be. Not everybody gets a first place trophy. Not everybody, you know.
There's no participation awards in this.
Yeah, but you do that to yourself.
Yeah.
We are fighting for the freedom to vote. We are fighting for our party is fighting for the vote to be protected. And if you choose yourself to not be a participant, that's on you. It's not on anybody else. And you know, even though I'm supposed to be trying to get people to like me or to vote, you know what? You don't really, in my opinion, get the freedom to also be able to complain about it.
Yeah.
Because you did not get what was freely yours. You don't really have to jump into the hoops. I know that there's sound bites to make it sound like it's very difficult. It is not. And you have that opportunity. If you give that right up, I can't really help you. But if you do choose to vote for people that are looking out for you, that really are truly desiring that you and your posterity are free and you can benefit, because that will bring you more happiness.
Right.
But we're not just over the happiness. We want to have true joy into your life. And you can't, it's harder if you're enslaved. Well, we'll just put it that way. I do know of people that have had backgrounds in being enslaved, that they could still have joy, but you're not going to really have as much as you could be by being a free person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with that, is there anything else you would want to add to tell the voters?
Well, one thing that somebody had asked me, what is near and dear to your heart? And I know a lot of us candidates do have a similar golden thread that runs through us because we are free. But something that I have been telling people at the fair, educate yourself, love one another, better yourself. Don't be okay with not being okay.
Right.
Do something, whatever it is, to benefit our nation, benefit our county, benefit your family, benefit your organizations that you are involved in that are doing good, and be safe, be free. I know safety is a big thing, for myself. Having a dad that was a chaplain, we have to remain free. We have to remain loving and kind, and don't let anybody take that away from us.
That's amazing. And along with that idea of, continuing to educate yourself and grow in your knowledge, if you ever would like a chance to maybe test some of that knowledge, right at the booth next to us, we are doing trivia. We've got all sorts of trivia. Most of it's related to history or government or American politics. Mm-hmm. And I personally love to see people come.
It's been a
sometimes
blast.
We have been blown away by the knowledge that some of you guys have. So definitely come visit us here at the fair. We would love to see you. Maybe we could even get you to sit down and join us on the podcast.
Sounds great. Come on out. Celebrate Montana, celebrate the U.S., celebrate each other, and just have a great time at the fair. There's some great vendors here, and I got to do probably a little bit more shopping.
I'm trying to not spend too much money here. Well, with that, as always, my name is Katie Fruits. I'm a candidate running for House District 80 in Helena, and we are here recording this podcast on behalf of Red Quill Media. You can find us. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube.
Love Red Quill. And I'm Chiko Olson signing off from House District 79. Thanks. We appreciate your vote.